Alright, hello and welcome back to another video. For today, we'll be talking about what Java data types are and what are their purpose for our program. So, there are two types of data types for Java. One is primitive data type, and the other one would be our reference data types. Now, what is the difference between the two? Okay, so first, let's start with what a primitive data type is. You can see that there are comments of the description, but let me talk about it more. So it is a data type that specifies the size and type of variable values. There are 8 primitive data types in Java. We will be talking about them one by one as we proceed with the video. Oh, first on the list would be the Boolean data type. It only has one bit and it only stores true or false values. As you can see, I declared a false because if we declare that on a variable and call it out, the result will show as is, unless if we use a statement such as the if else statement or the if then else and much more. So next we have the byte. As the name suggests, it only has one byte size and it stores whole numbers from negative 128 to 127. So next we have the short. It has 2 byte size and it only stores whole numbers from negative 32,768 to 32,767. Now let's talk about int. Short for integer. This stores 4 bytes, and this is actually the most common data type that is used, especially with numerical numbers. It stores whole numbers from negative 2,147,483,648 to 2,147,483,647. All right, so we have long. This stores 8 bytes in a variable, and as you can see, it's a pretty long number. So if you have mathematical operations that requires for you to show a larger amount, this would be your go-to. All right, so we have float. One of the most common as well. We use this for decimal values. So those with a point something. It stores 4 byte size. It is efficient for storing 6 to 7 decimal digits. Then we also have the double, one of the most common. This one, the difference between the float and double is that double stores more byte size. It has 8 bytes. It is efficient for storing 15 decimal digits. So it's best for storing longer amount of decimal points, especially those with mathematical operations such as division, where there are multiple values that will have to show up on your calculation. And last on the list for primitive data types would be the character or char. So this has 2 byte size. It stores a single character or letter or ASCII values. It will only show A, B, C, D, the symbols, and a number. So the question is, what stores an entire word or a sentence? Let us find out in the next data type. So for reference data type, we only use string. It's one of the pretty most common. It is not predefined. All reference type begins with the uppercase letter. So as you can see here, on string, the data type that I called, it has a capital S. Unlike with the other data types that I mentioned earlier, it starts with a capital letter. So it can be null, it can be zero, it can be nothing at all, it can be just a space. It is used to call or invoke methods. There are multiple types of reference data types, but for this one, we use specifically string because this is the most common that is used. So if you can see here, I declared string S. Java is fun. It's a string. Had it printed out. Let me show you how it all looks in one console. Alright, so you can see on my screen the different Java data types being shown, as well as how to call a variable. So for the first one, you can see that's a boolean. I have a date equals false. If you would like to revisit the code, we declared that this statement is false. So look at the byte, short, up until the string. Alright, so I have here two examples to showcase the usage of the data types. So for the first quick example, you could just see that I am using a reference data type and a primitive data type in one example, which is the string and the integer. Both are really common in programming. As you can see, the string is used with the capital letter S as its basic rule when calling reference data types. Then I will have to call a variable, assign a value to it. In this case, my value to the variable name is Mona Baron and Sinigang Baboy to food, respectively. I also called a value for the integer's age, num1, num2, val, short for Valentine's. So here in this example, I am using the mathematical operator plus as a way to concatenate different values, such as this string over here, Valentine's Day in February, added with the variable val for Valentine's Day, wherein I added number 1 and number 2, which is standing for. And then I added a tab. It could go a different way. Let me show you. To make it easier, you can work on your code like that. You don't have to concatenate a phrase or a sentence if it's inside a double quotation, or you can also use a single quotation if you like. Alright, so the second example is about swapping numbers. As you can see, we are using two different float values. That's 0.50 and 3.69f. Now remember, for the float data type, you would have to append a letter f at the end of the digit of your decimal or your number. So here my variable is first, and the second variable is second. So before swapping the numbers, we have to declare them both in one print variable. So that's first number plus first plus second number plus the variable second. So we have to first assign a value to a temporary variable. So we declared float temp equals first. We don't have to append an f to the variable because we are already naming it as a float. Okay, so the value of the second number will be assigned to the first. And since we have a temporary placeholder, we can go ahead and assign it as the second to our second variable. So after swapping, it will then show the result. Okay, so you can see here that we have already swapped the two numbers due to the placeholder that we made. First number initially was 0.5 and second number was 3.69. Now it's 3.69 as the first number and the second number as 0.5. And that is pretty much it for this session. I hope you understood something. If not, you can leave it down in the comments below and we can talk more about it. See you till the next video. Bye now.